Hello, good afternoon. I'm Andreas Polyrakis, Director, Strategy and Business Development at Digital Realty. It's an honor to be on this stage again, especially in this anniversary meeting. And today, I will try to share some insights and thoughts on AI, of course, with a focus on connectivity. And we'll try to give some perspective also on the UK developments in this area. I will deliver this presentation together with my esteemed colleague, Darren, who is a senior solution architect based here in London.
I'm a solution architect based in London. We got a couple of solution architects in the data center world right now, just to listen to customer strategy, what they're trying to do, and we're here to create solutions much more helping customers to be able to decide how to get to whatever that needs to get to. Okay, so Darren, as a local expertise, will cover the UK developments and the more technical aspects of this presentation. I hope that everyone in this room knows who Digital Realty is, but in case you don't, Digital Realty is a global data center platform. We have more than 300 data centers in more than 50 cities around the world. Of course, we have a strong presence in London with 15 data centers in the Greater London area. Just to mention that in some areas we have a different brand name, Ascend in Latin America, for example. Terraco and Dicolo in Africa. Even in Europe, a lot of people still refer us to with our interaction name. The agenda for today, I will share some interesting findings from a data and AI insight survey that we ran a while ago, and I will speak about how AI affects connectivity. And then Darren will cover the UK updates, the Metro Connect, and we'll also speak about the private AI exchange that we are developing, which runs on top of our Service Fabric platform. And we will close with some comments about our cooperation with LINX. Without further ado, let me start with this very interesting survey. To provide some context here, of course, AI is evolving very, very fast, and all companies try to position themselves as early as possible in order to gain some competitive advantage. But of course, when we speak about AI, we always need to keep in mind that in the core of AI lies data, and we're talking about vast amounts of data and enormous workflows. And this, of course, poses a challenge to the companies on how to handle this data. So this survey that we did was an attempt to understand where our customers stand on this AI journey, what is the status with their data strategies, what are the challenges with their infrastructure and the power demands, etc. Unfortunately, I do not have the time to share all the results of this survey, and I will just stick to the four key outcomes. First of all, data-first strategies advance AI innovation. From the responders, from the companies that responded that they are quite advanced in the AI journey, 65% of them declare that they have already a solid and clear data strategy. And by data strategy, I mean anything that has to do on how they collect, they store, they aggregate, they analyze, they maintain the data. The companies that have a clear strategy there are able to harvest AI. The ones that do not will struggle on their AI journey. The second outcome is that data is everywhere, is pervasive, and is growing very, very fast. And of course, this poses challenges on the infrastructure that the companies need to maintain and on the power demands. As you can see, a very big number of the responders, 57%, say that this is now a priority for the company. The survey also
also reveals other challenges on data. For example, lack of a clear business strategy or a lack of a mandate, or even lack of data or lack of quality data, clean data there, or even lack of talent who is able to analyze the data and get some conclusions. The next outcome is that data localization is more important than ever. The data needs to be available when it is needed and where it is needed. For this reason, 8 out of 10 companies declare that they have a distributed data strategy. And also 8 out of 10 companies mention that they plan to increase their number of data locations within the next couple of years. And last but not least, data is very significant to the business agenda. The companies who will be able to collect data and analyze the data will have an advantage on their AI journey. Unfortunately, I cannot share more details at this moment due to lack of time, but the survey is very interesting. It is available to download for free. There is a global version, the EMEA version, the Americas and the APAC version. Feel free to download and learn more. Now let's discuss a little bit about how AI affects connectivity. As you know, there are two stages in AI, the training stage and the inference stage. Training is where we feed AI with our data in order to train the models, and inference is where we use the trained models in order to produce results, respond to queries, generate text and images, etc. So the training has a very, very big computing needs, but it is location agnostic. It can take place in a location away from the data or the users. And this gives us the ability to aggregate this data into big data centers that are built for this purpose. We're talking about huge numbers here. We already see demands in the range of 100 megawatts. And also, the requirements in terms of power density and cooling are very, very big. We're talking about racks that can reach or exceed 100 kilowatts per rack, which is a huge number. And of course, you need very sophisticated cooling in order to cope with these type of requirements. We're talking about liquid cooling or things like this. Inference, on the other hand, is not location agnostic. It needs to be the inference needs to be close to the end users, because it needs to produce results in near real time, or in some cases in real time. This pushes inference to be much more distributed, and as a result, although we still see a big demand, this is more distributed, and we're talking about smaller demands in the range of a few megawatts for the inference deployment. The density requirements are also quite high to the traditional standards, but much lower than training, and can be accommodated with, let's say, more traditional air cooling techniques. I mentioned that data is in the heart of AI. So a pre-stage is the data aggregation phase, where you collect, you clean up your data, otherwise garbage in, garbage out, and you send it in bulk to the training centers. When we're talking about bulk transfers, we're talking about capacities that can easily reach 400 or 800 gigs, and we're talking about multiple of such connections to feed the training centers. Inference, on the other hand, the demand is still high, but it's much more distributed geographically, and much more distributed in more connectivity providers, which connect inference to the consumers. So demand is high, but much more distributed. Now, similarly to cloud, A big part of the AI demand is we expect that it will be absorbed by public AI deployments. However, there will be some cases where some companies will not want to upload their sensitive data on a public installation, or they will not want this data to be used to train models that will be used by the competitors. And also, regularity and sovereignty rules will also apply. So eventually, we expect that hybrid AI solutions will evolve, where a company will utilize resources from different providers in order to implement their AI strategy. Now, in order to connect all those resources that are required for hybrid AI, you need something more than just moving bits from one point to the other. You need to have some orchestration layers that will coordinate all those workflows, and this is why we see AI and data exchanges being deployed. And Darren will speak later about our private AI exchange. In terms of connectivity, the public part of this connectivity will take place near inference. So similarly to cloud, we expect AI on ramps to evolve. Maybe the existing cloud on ramps will evolve to this role as well. And maybe new specialized services will appear. On the training side, on the other hand, the huge demands in power might lead the training centers, which will be fewer, as I said earlier, there will be a few core locations. They might lead them to other locations, not as dense from a network point of view. So in this case, we expect that the networks will adapt their footprint to reach the training centers than the other way around that used to happen in the past. So with that, let me hand over to Darren for an update on the UK and Metro Connect.
Thank you so much, Andreas. So within the UK updates, we just want to let you know that in London itself, we got about 40 data centers. Why are these important? Well, in the era of clouds, you see that in 2010s, everyone started moving towards cloud to do their infrastructures, but they realized that infrastructures in the cloud, although it's very flexible, but it can be really costly as well. So we solved the problem for cloud, but now we can also solve the problem for AI, coming into a private AI, which is inferences. As data get larger and larger, it became really expensive to move, but it's also harder to move. So why is it very important to be on-prem, and how we actually solve the problem for networks? So within our data centers, we acquire new data centers recently in Slough. It's a 50 megawatt data centers. We are planning to install dark fiber between our data centers into London, where the financial hubs are, although they say Slough is where the main financial hub, but we also got a place where in Humber Street where it's also financial hubs in there. And we're creating a backup redundancy into our working data centers, because working is also one of our NVIDIA accredited site. It has 24 megawatt for high density compute. And some of the data centers we actually convert for enterprises to be able to support high density compute as well. And in London, all this connectivity here are also diverse link. So in case if one link fail, it will automatically swap over to the other links. And you talk about cloud service providers, and majority of the cloud service providers are within our data centers. And wherever customers can be, maybe in one of these locations, they will be able to use the Metro Connect back to peer with links in 2 locations of ours, which is in Docklands in LHR20, and also in Humber Street itself. As you can see, Harbor Exchange is in there. We also got dark fiber to connect into LD8. Can I have the next slide, please? So I put this very interesting slide here, right? Because we think about AI, how AI start. People often start AI in the cloud, although you can actually do it yourself. But doing it yourself, people think that you have to invest at least £250,000 for an HP server or an NVIDIA rack, which is £300,000. Actually, I found that the fact that you can actually use that HP Zen 8 and you put 4 up to 4 NVIDIA GPUs. And you can actually do your own private inferences from there using a public model, pre-trained model. And the cost-wise is less than £10,000. But this is an example. People can actually rack it up, and it's only 1,000 watt instead of minimum of 18 kilowatts per rack. That's a fun fact. Next step. So this is where the private AI exchange comes in, right? Often users uses AI training in the cloud, which then you have to upload lots of data sets into the cloud, which then can be very expensive. It's going to be time-consuming because not everyone uses private connectivity into the cloud. Majority of the users uses internet to go to the cloud, which takes some time to upload. Where inferences come in actually has to happen in here rather than from here. So as a network provider, you bring traffic for your customer side into a data centers where they can do inferences in here, and the data can be then published back into the cloud, or the data can be published via Service Fabric to different locations where the users are, so that you got a better user experience. Next slide, please. So we launched this product called Service Fabric Components within majority of our data centers. We also provide NNI towards Megaport and Console Connect. Basically, it's just not interconnect digital realty data centers, although we got 330 data centers globally. But we can also reach into a third-party data centers via Megaport or Console Connect via a single portal, rather than having 2, 3 different portals. As you can imagine, it's really difficult to manage. Where the visibility will be there. In our data centers, you'll be able to connect, whether it's 1 gig port to 10 gig port or 100 gig port, not just connect to the cloud, but you can also use that to peer with links from any locations that you wanted to. So in the next slide, please. This is an example of the brands that are within the data centers. So what it means is that if you've got a brand and product and services that wanted to be able to sell in the ecosystem, you will be able to actually provide that service to any of digital realty customers having that you are in our data centers. So this enables customers to be able to use a B2B connections to collaboration. It brings your brand awareness globally, but it showcases your capability in service directory. You can actually use this to peer with links as well in any locations via click-to-connect service. And I'm just going to pass it back to you, Andreas.
Thank you, Darren. With AI evolving very, very fast, and although we have some insight on where things are going, we're not exactly sure how all these things will evolve. But no matter what happens, data centers will be the home for these developments, and internet exchanges will always be necessary in order for the components to connect to each other, to peer to each other. So digital realty and LINX are cooperating many years. We have a very long-standing cooperation. It is important to state that this cooperation, through this cooperation, we very much respect each other's neutrality. It is important that both of us will remain neutral through this cooperation. And having said that, we are very glad that we host the LINX POPs, not only in London, but all common metros, including Ashburn, Nairobi, and the recently announced Mombasa. And we hope that this cooperation will keep evolving. Apart from the co-location cooperation, we also cooperate on Service Fabric. The legacy interactions Cloud Connect service was a part of the offering of LINX for their cloud offering to their customers, and this is now being integrated into Service Fabric, and we expect that this will evolve into what Darren discussed earlier about the private AI exchange that is now being developed on top of Service Fabric. And last but not least, let me remind you that if you are a LINX customer but not digital realty customer, and you need co-location anywhere in the world, not only London, but maybe in Ireland, in France, in Greece, in Tokyo, in New York, you can do it through your contract with LINX without needing to contractually sign anything with Digital Realty. So that was all for now. We have gathered some resources for additional reading on the subject that we touched here. And if we have some time for a few questions, we would be happy to take them.
Any questions for Andreas or Darren? No?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.